It's the Positivity podcast.
See what we did there?
Welcome to our brand new podcast where we bring you half an hour of happiness.
Kickstarting your week with us the right way.
Whether you join us on your commute,
Your weekly tidy up,
while you cook your favourite dinner,
or you listen to relax.
we've got you covered
So join me and Ellie every week
for a bit of positivity,
where we share hilarious and happy stories from around the globe.
as well as your own personal highlights.
Guaranteed to boost your mood and make you smile.
We bring your daily positivity to you, so look no further and make this positive podcast a part of your weekly routine.
And switch on the kettle and let's have a brew.
Hello and welcome to the Positivity podcast with us, Andy and Ellie. We are here every single Monday to kickstart your week the right way by spreading the positivity. We've got loads of different stories from the UK and beyond to make you smile, and every week we have a different theme, but we'll get into that very shortly. How are you, Andy?
I am good.
I'm glad.
Every time I say that. And, you know, I've got a whole week doing these to prep for these, and I still haven't thought of another way to say I'm good.
Every episode we have a different theme, and we asked you to get in touch last week and tell us your relationship stories. So the week prior to this, so our other episode, episode 8, was relationship or dating disasters, so bad things that have happened. But we thought we'll change it up. Just in time for Valentine's Day, we wanted to know if your other half now does something that annoys you, puts you off, gives you the ick, makes you cringe, or maybe it's a good thing, makes you laugh, or a really bad thing, so it makes you cry, that they never, ever did at the start of your relationship. So basically, we want you to expose them. And as usual, you got in touch and told us some fab stories about what your other half now does that they never did at the start.
Absolutely. And you know, we say this every week where we're like, oh, this one's a really good one. This one is a good one because it's there's so much variety of people doing weird things which you just never would think they would do. Still get involved because we would love to hear from you. Play along, tweet us or message us on Facebook and Instagram. Our social handles are at Andy and Ellie UK. So let's put a smile on everyone's faces with your funny stories.
Yes, let's do that. But just before we break into the exposés, we always kick the show off by spilling the tea. So me and Andy see some positive stories in the news and we think, yeah, do you know what? We're going to pick them and we're going to talk about them. So we've got a really nice one to start us off, and it's all about the UK's biggest art gallery launching this week to encourage everyone to get creative and beat the lockdown blues. So galleries might be closing definitely, but that isn't stopping creative curators from putting on what they hope will be the UK's largest ever art exhibition. And the best bit, anybody can take part, Andy. So launched this week by the sculptor Anthony, the Great Big Art Exhibition is a nationwide project that is calling on people to display homemade works of art in their front windows to beat the lockdown blues. So he said the doors to our collections and galleries might be shut, but our imaginations are forever open. Totally agree with that. What do you think,
Yeah.
Andy? Are you going to be painting anything and putting it in your window?
Well, I was thinking that. And I must admit, I do miss kind of, because I used to study art and stuff, and I can kind of draw, but not, whoa, that's definitely a person.
Whoa,
you know what I mean?
love
I can draw objects, but not really like people. But
You don't have to draw a person.
that's what I was
It could be
thinking.
like
I saw on
a
TikTok
bottle of wine.
somebody did like a painting, and they put random like paint on it, and then they just swiveled it around, and then it looked kind of cool. So maybe I could do
Contemporary
that.
art.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
too
think.
sure. Very abstract art. But yeah, well, we're going to move on to Wales. So we're having a whale of a time on this one with... Wales had the best breeding season in years. So the critically endangered North Atlantic right whale is reportedly having its best breeding season in years, offering some rare positive news for a species in peril. Because, you know, they're obviously dying quite a lot. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says 13 calves, I didn't know they're called calves, but there we are, have been born already this year, with 2 months of breeding season still remaining. By contrast, just so you know the difference, just 22 new calves were recorded between 2017 and 2020.
Oh my gosh,
that is
a
big
big
impact, which is brilliant. The whale faces numerous threats, predominantly from entanglement in fishing gear and vessel strikes. Yeah, we know those awful little boat people. I mean, they're doing their job, but I guess
That was
While
funny.
these births are encouraging sign, the continued threats underscore that we still have a lot to be done.
Well, I'm so happy that Wales are back with a bang. I thought for my second story, I've not necessarily read this in the news, but I thought about bringing my own positive news this week. I've seen a lot of it on Twitter as well. So like many, my grandma finally got her first COVID-19 vaccine the other day. Woo! So she's 94, as I mention every podcast. She said it was totally stress-free and quick, and, you know, other than feeling a little bit sick, she's absolutely fine. And the reason I thought I'd bring it up is because I keep seeing so many lovely, lovely tweets of people saying like, oh my gosh, this has made my day, or this has made my week, or even this has made my year. Like my grandparents have got their first COVID vaccine. I just wondered, like, have yours had theirs, or what's the crack with yours?
Oh, mine myself. I thought I was rhetorical
you.
to the audience.
No,
my grandma just had hers, I believe. And my other grandparents live in Spain, so they're kind of on hold at the moment. Because Spain are kind of like not up there at the moment with priorities at the moment, I think. I don't quite get what they're doing. But yeah, they haven't heard about theirs yet. But I assume they'll have theirs soon.
Yeah, well, in the UK, we're well, I was about to say we're doing all right. We're absolutely not. But I'm glad that my grandma.
We're doing all right for jabs, though. For vaccines, we're doing all right with. That's about the only thing we've... Yeah, I'm not going to go into it.
No, don't.
Well, speaking of lockdown, book sales have hit an 8-year high.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I don't generally read, but I did pick up a new book as well, so I am part of this, which is great.
What book?
It was...
Is it the Kama Sutra by
No, it's not 50 Shades of Grey either. It's not one of them. It is Louis Theroux's Got to Get Through This.
Oh, what a fabulous book.
Yes.
I've read it. It's great.
Have you read it? Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to him. I love him. I love him to bits. Listen to his podcast as well. Obviously, don't listen to his podcast. Listen to ours first and then listen to his. But yeah, despite the pandemic, or perhaps because of it, sales of books in the UK have reached an 8-year high in 2020, according to the latest figures. Although bookshops were closed for much of a year, more than 200 million tonnes were sold in the UK, suggesting that people sought solace in literature during lockdown.
Yes.
The pandemic has also prompted an increase in people opening bookshops. According to the Bookseller Association, more than 50 flung their doors open for the first time last year, despite the challenges brought about by coronavirus.
Everybody loves a book, don't they?
How many books I never really read when I was younger? I could read, but I just found them boring. I could never get into a book. I'd rather watch a film than read a book.
To be honest, when the first proper book I read when I was 12 and I was going through puberty, and it was one of those books where your mum gives it you and it's like, so this is going to change your body, you're going to get periods,
that's not
all
a
that.
Book.
I know, but I just remember that being the first book that I probably read. And then I read Of Mice and Men, and it like broke my heart. Just gutting.
Have you seen the film of that? Have you seen the film?
Of course I've seen the film. I cried my eyes out.
What a tender rabbit's Deutsch.
It's giving me anxiety. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Instead of talking about George and Lenny, and yeah, spoiler alert, it doesn't all end happily. The American Dream. Well, that's the thing about the American Dream, isn't it? I mean, I'm not in an English lit. Listen, shut up, Ellie. So this week we are discussing relationship stories. Now it's time for me and Andy to spill the tea and get your brew on. So we asked you to tell us yours too, and we'll get into them shortly. So come on, Andy, let's have a brew. So let's get our brew on then, Andy. This is the part of the show where me and Andy get our 2 pence in and we talk about whatever our theme is and spill our own stories. So my story is that when I first met my boyfriend, I had no idea that he was going to spend half of our relationship on the toilet. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only person in this position, and I'm not saying it's just men that do it, but it is. So why on earth do men go to the toilet and not come back for 5 years? I don't understand it. And it's because they have their iPad, their phone, probably 5 books in there to keep them occupied. And when they go there to just execute something that could take 5 minutes, it then takes 30. And the knock-on effect is just horrific. It's so annoying because it means if we're watching an episode of something, it's paused for ages. If I'm wanting to make us lunch, then I have to wait to see what he wants, because I'm not going up there to bother him, you know. I'm a bit of an attention whore sometimes, and I don't like being left on my own for that long. It really affects me. Have you done this before?
We've been caught out, haven't we?
Yeah, you have. Are you somebody that does that?
Yeah, I'm just on TikTok all the time. Or I've started recently playing chess.
Playing chess?
Yeah, 10-minute chess game. I love chess. Absolutely
Andy,
love
that's
chess.
well sad. You meant to be an up-and-coming DJ and just admitted to playing chess
It's
while
an
you're
extra
having a crap.
hobby, you know. It's a very intelligent game I have, you know. Very,
Oh my
very intelligent
gosh.
game.
I have a
Thank
lot
you
of
very
friends
much.
that play things like Sudoku, and I'm like,
Oh,
are you
Sudoku's
a
alright. Yeah,
9-year-old?
similar to chess, but chess is obviously more elite. But
Right,
we'll get into it.
okay.
So I am single, as everyone probably can
Yee.
tell. So anyone out there, let me know. That also means
Oh
your
my
nans
God.
as well. Hi, your nans.
Yeah.
But my ex began to have like this weird cackle laugh.
Oh, God, what?
Yeah, which I never knew she kind of had. So at the start, she was never doing it. So either I became extremely funny, or she became confident enough to be able to just let it out.
Yeah, so that's a
But-
good thing, I guess, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or was it?
I don't
was
know.
it bad?
It was kind of a weird cackle. It was kind of like a please don't do that again in public kind of thing. Do you know
Can
what I
you
mean?
try and recreate it a little
Can
bit?
I try and recreate it?
Yeah.
Certainly, Ellie. Say something funny.
Okay, I'll tell you a joke.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I
she
mean,
sounds like
it
the Wizard
sounds like
of
a
Oz.
witch.
Witch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I had that walking around like shops and stuff. You know, if
Yeah,
I'd make a joke, that would come out. And I'd be like, oh, I kind of regret saying the joke now.
I mean, I always got told that I have a laugh like a car engine, like it gets like more intense. And I do try and, you know, push it off a little bit because it's worse when I can't breathe because if it's something that's really funny, go, I'm
yeah.
one of those. And
You
it
inhale.
really, I hope people like realise that I am aware that I do that rather than, oh my gosh. It's like when you watch Come Down With Me or Dinner Date and you're like, oh my God, when they watch this back and they realise they do that. I mean, they probably already realise it just anyway.
Yeah.
But we have now shared our personal cup of positivity on the issue at hand. So let's get on to your personal cup of positivity and your relationship stories. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm very excited for this one. Let's do it.
So this week we asked people on our social media to tell us what they now notice that their other half does that they never, ever, ever would have dreamed of doing at the start of their relationship.
Again, if you want to share your moment whilst you're listening, you can do. Feel free to do. It's all free to do as well. Free to do, feel free to do. There we go, tongue twister. You can get in touch with us Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Andy and Eddie UK. Be featured on the show for next week's. We will tell you later what next week's theme will be.
Do you know what? Although you were losing control, you were very in control at the same time just then. Do you know what I mean?
That's a very good habit that I have doing. I
Well.
whiff-waff so much, but managed to kind of...
Yeah, that was one of the better times where you kept it under control. So Antonia from Doncaster is kicking us off. She got in touch to say her boyfriend has the awful habit of leaving the toilet seat up. But worse than that, because, you know, people can be guilty of this, like, I get it. Sometimes he doesn't even flush what he's done and just leaves it. Oh my gosh, what a bad habit. Could you ever like envisage seeing someone for the first time being like, oh my God, they're so fit, like you're with them, and then they do that and then they leave it? Oh my God, sick in the
How do
mouth.
people have... How can people do that?
I don't know. That's
How do people have the
disgusting.
confidence to do that as well?
Well, do you know what? See, sometimes I think of saying things like that, like how do they have the confidence? But it's more like how do we say like negative confidence? Because it's not arrogance; it's just bizarre behaviour.
Or
Do you know what I
forgetfulness.
mean? Yeah,
can also
I
be the other
mean. It's
Yeah.
a very high intensity activity and you're very hands on, you know. So I don't
Right.
understand how you could forget.
I don't know if you know this about me, Ellie, but I actually despise topics like this.
Do you
I don't know.
actually?
Yeah, I'm so bad with stuff like this, and I don't know why. I try to overcome my fear about it, but I just dislike talking about stuff like this.
You're one of those people that doesn't
Yeah.
let the girlfriend fart.
No, I wouldn't. Oh, no. Well, no, obviously I
Andy.
would, but like it would have to take me a bit of time to adjust. Do you know what I mean?
What if they had allergies?
What do you mean if they had allergies? What, when
What if
someone
they had
farted?
an allergy or something?
Doesn't make them fart, does it?
Yeah, if you've got a food allergy.
If you have oh, I see. If you had a food allergy, I thought you meant like if you got like hay fever or something.
Yeah, it works both ways. Ew.
dear.
Tell us.
I will tell you. I will tell you something. So Christian, who is Irish, says that his girlfriend Carly, who is English, would automatically slip into an attempt of the Irish accent. You know, like some key words or some random kind of words she would just kind of fling out, and there would suddenly be an Irish attempt. But they're so far from Irish. So Carly hits back though and says that Christian weirdly allows his dog to lick his feet.
See, I don't
Yeah.
like topics like that. I
What?
think that's disgusting.
Feet.
How? Oh my God. Oh, do you know what, right? Once, I think you don't let dogs lick you. Like, I don't mind cuddling one, but and this is gonna really tip you over the edge. When I was once with my boyfriend, now he's got 2 Springer Spaniels, right? And his dad had just took them out for a walk, and they came back, and one of them jumped up on me and was like licking my face. And his dad walked past, and I'll probably bleep this out. Walked past and went, "She's just been eating shit in the park, Ellie," and I was like, "Ah!" Oh, I was absolutely mortified. I was like scrubbing my face and oh god, it was bad.
No,
So yeah, don't let dogs lick you anywhere.
No.
Anyway, so moving swiftly on, Danny from Sheffield got in touch with a more normal story to say her boyfriend has a really bad habit of never, ever, ever cleaning up. But not just, the odd pair of socks knocking about. It's their whole room, washing up, or when making food. Everything gets left and she feels like a parent. At the start of their relationship, this is what makes it worse. He pretended he was like some kind of domestic goddess, but now she knows the truth.
Dum, dum, dum.
Da, da, da.
Cat caught his boyfriend wiping his face with an anti-bac wipe. And when questioned regarding that he shouldn't be using that for his face, his response was, "But it says multi-surface on it."
Oh my goodness.
He'd been using it for ages.
Oh my god. How can you be so ridiculous?
I don't know, but that one made me chuckle.
He'll be burning the skin off his face.
That's a definite guy thing to do. Like, oh yeah, multi-surfaces. Yeah, cool. That means face as well, right?
No, I can't. I'm genuinely not stuck up, but I can't deal with like stupidity on that level. When you come across some people and they're just like, you can't even believe. Yeah. Oh my god, I would hit the roof.
It's like they've done it purposely, but they haven't done it purposely.
Yeah, they kind of put it off like, oh yeah, we're just a bit of banter like, and you're like, no, you've fully been rubbing your face with that. What an idiot.
Hello.
God. Well, Lily got in touch to say her boyfriend is the worst snorer ever.
Uh-oh.
Not only that, but he has the worst habit of blowing his nose so loud he sounds like he's an elephant. Well, he sounds like he's got respiratory problems for sure. But do you know what? With that, I don't understand people, right? When they sneeze really loud, everybody can control a sneeze, yeah. So if you're blowing your nose like that, why are you doing it like that loud? That would really get on my nerves.
So, a fun fact about this. So my dad does the same thing. He sneezes loudly and it kind of rings in my ears. What is that?
Go for it full force, right? Yes. But don't do it like... I had a girl who I went to secondary school with, and all the boys used to think she was really cute when she sneezed, and she would pretend that she wasn't doing it on purpose, but she definitely was. And she would go... And I'm like, right, yeah, that's about as funny as toothache. Like, she was so annoying. Anyway, just vent, shall we?
Jessica says, before we do this though, can we just appreciate that so many of these are the guys at fault with it? It's just brilliant. I love it. And it's so true because it pretty much is. Jessica says her boyfriend would only use one type of pen. He claims it is a godly pen and others just don't feel the same to hold or write with. Right. So he always takes his pen wherever he goes in case he needs to use it.
So, do we have any backstory, like who bought him the pen? Where did he buy the pen from?
His grandparents bought him the specific pen that he liked for Christmas, and it's not because how old is he? He's 23. But it's not like but it's not like it's a memoir of a pen. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't bought at a special moment or stuff. It's just his favourite pen.
Just a pen.
And then he just really likes writing on them compared to. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Do you not do that? Like. It's ones you used to write in primary school with, or secondary school, the really nice posh red ones with a blue tip on it.
Yeah, primary school, yeah.
Yeah, and then you go on to those really cheap plasticky ones in secondary school.
Yeah,
they're just not the same, are they?
You sound like you've been on a pen journey as well, and I really don't get the hype.
I got my handwriting test, passed that, first person to pass it in my class. Thank you.
What, last year?
Yeah, last year.
Can't believe you're still excited about that, like all the things that you've achieved in your life and your professional career. I wouldn't be surprised.
Goes next to my singles on the wall, like.
Just I collab with all these big names. But I love my pen. You're so sad. James from Mansfield got in touch to say his girlfriend is so bad with leaving her false eyelashes everywhere to the point he feels like he's living in a spider infestation.
Yeah,
so because every time he sees it, like apparently it just resembles a fat creeper crawling. I am, I'm gonna not lie, I'm guilty of this. Not to mention she leaves fake tan on the bed. Well, dearie me, James, get them sheets washed.
Oh dear. I don't know where to go from there. I do agree though with the spiders. It definitely do look like spiders. Like if you're just randomly there on the sofa or on the bed and you just sit, it does make you jump. Tom said that at the start of dating his girlfriend Jess. Oh, so earlier this is Jess and Tom with the pen. So Tom got back at her and said that he caught his girlfriend Jess, who was having a weird habit of eating just ice cubes.
Ew.
Yeah, it's just a weird. It's quite common though.
It goes through me though. People that eat ice in when they're out in a restaurant or whatever. Like we've got a friend Molly, because I've got 10 friends called Molly, and she eats ice, and I'm like, I don't know. See? It just goes through me. It's crunchy and like I don't know.
I think that's why. I think it's like some weird ASMR thing. He also caught her eating raw mushrooms.
Oh no, draw the line at that. Yeah, absolutely draw the line at that.
I didn't even know you could eat raw mushrooms. I thought you had to like.
People do.
Maybe it's healthy for you. Maybe we never know. He said he nearly fainted after witnessing it. And I would too.
I have one thing to say. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Okay? Disgusting. And if you want to have your cup of positivity featured on the show, then what are you waiting for? Drop us a message and give us a follow on Instagram, Andy and Ellie UK. Now we're on to the section of the show called Overbrewed, where me and Andy just let it all out because not everybody seems to share the same excitement when it comes to positivity. Sometimes maybe you felt a bit annoyed that someone is so overly happy, or something has happened which you really should be quite pleased about, but you're not really. Overbrewed is where we just let it all out and discuss some things that everybody else seems to get excited about, but really it just irks you. Of course, it would make sense to link it in with this week's theme, so
my one is when I can't stand. Well, I'm going to stand up for the guys here, okay? Because we got a little slate in the previous section because we all do stupid stuff. But when we ask where should we go out to eat, and usually the answer is I don't mind, you pick, okay? So when after 10 minutes of thoughtful consideration, I should add, and we say, oh, let's go here. It's then quickly backfired with oh, no, we went there. Or it's like, I'm not really feeling that right now. Like Wagamama's, for example. Like, who doesn't feel for a Wagamama's every day?
Oh, my God.
Or Nando's.
I absolutely love Wagamama's. Those little, squid things with chili sauce for the starters, gluten-free. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I get what you're saying, though. We've all been in that position. I mean... I think the problem is, when people say, oh, I don't mind you pick, it's like, well, what I've done is we always think of 5 places that we could go to or order from, or what we could, 5 different meals or whatever, and then you just pick from that rather than, because otherwise you're there all night.
Yeah, but you're also all there all night trying to find the 5 you want.
Well, no, because let's think off the top of my head, right? So I'd have a Nando's,
that's good.
Homemade Nando's. So my Overbrewed this week is all about the nightmare of realising you're with someone with such bad habits. Now, I had this with my ex, but I'm not going to go into great detail because I genuinely don't want to talk about him. But I went out with this guy for 3 years, and what I'm saying is, while people enjoy the initial excitement and how you slowly get into that comfortable feeling, even though you would never let your girlfriend poo around you, but that's a separate issue. I love that initial excitement, like proper honeymoon phase, and then you sort of you become more comfortable with each other, and I do like that. But at the same time, I don't want to get so comfortable with someone that they don't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? So I wish, in a way, I wish the comfort was there straight away, and it doesn't change and just seems to go downhill. You meet someone, you get excited, then you realise what they're really like and they don't care anymore. For me, comfort is key, but lack of effort is not. You get me?
I get you. Sounds like you're still a bit angry at the person, but we'll move on.
I am. I really am. I just think, I'm all there for living in joggers and, not putting makeup on every day and being comfortable. But, when you look at that person, you just think, you actually don't even make the effort anymore. Anyway, been and gone. So coming towards the end of the show, we always want to pour some sugar in the form of a positive story that's caught our attention from across the globe. So off we go, Andy. First of all, we're over to the US of A. Now, if like me, you watched Biden's inauguration, you will have seen the creation of one of the biggest memes ever. So Bernie Sanders sat dressed like he had nowhere important to go at his successor's inauguration. Don't forget, Bernie dropped out of the race to be the next president as Biden was winning in the polls of who the Democrats wanted their representative to be. So I saw a tweet and it made me laugh, really. It's not necessarily related to why this is a positive story, but I just thought it was brilliant. So somebody tweeted, Bernie Sanders dressed like the inauguration was on his to-do list but wasn't his full day. And if you've not seen the picture, literally just type in Bernie Sanders meme and you'll see it immediately. So the image of Bernie sat in his big coat, huge mask and woolen mittens went viral in an instant. His image was plastered everywhere, people saying they couldn't believe that he dressed that way. You know, any iconic photo ever, people have been photoshopping him in there. So it's gone absolutely crazy.
Funny as hell. There's a really funny one of him at the Last Supper at a table.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
It was brilliant.
Oh god, I've seen ones of like, you do kind of have to be in your meme knowledge for this, but there was a video that went viral of a man playing a song and it goes, if you know what I'm on about, right? And then they added another meme which has gone viral of a cat like bobbing its head, and now on top of that they've now put Bernie in there as well, so it's like the biggest meme ever. Anyway, so he has now accidentally raised over £1.8 million for charity. So he quickly added the image that went viral of him to a line of merchandise on his website, with all proceedings benefiting at Vermont-based charities, including Meals on Wheels and senior citizen advocacy groups. So the sweatshirts, tees and stickers sold out in less than 30 minutes. Additional supplies were also snapped up faster than you can say Jack Frost. In all, Sanders' report raised around $1.8 million in the span of 5 days, and he said, "We're glad we can use my internet fame to give people the help that they need." Well, fair enough, Andy.
That's
fair
nice.
enough.
I mean, if I got memed that hard, I would ask for a bit of percentage.
Would you? No, I suppose he's in a
for
position
charity,
of
but,
wealth
like,
anyway.
Oh yeah, that too. But equally, you know, it's like, well, that's me. Like,
Yeah, I know.
that's me getting all these purchases and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Although hopefully I never get memed like that, so it's okay.
No, I don't think you would.
Over to Portugal. That sounded Italian, but we're over to Portugal. Portugal is teaching the world how to deal with drugs. Okay. So loads of countries struggle with escalating rates of drug addiction. Portugal, on the other hand, has successfully reduced overdose deaths by more than 90% since 1999. Basically, they've changed and done a radical shift in its drugs policies and stuff like that. So the country, well, I assume everyone will kind of know, but if they don't, they had a serious addiction problem back in the 1990s. Then they decided to decriminalise all drugs. Oh, right. Yeah, which is a whole different turn of what everyone does. So rather than being arrested and like possibly jailed, basically if you're caught with no more than a 10-day supply, you just receive a warning, which is like a small fine, or we're told to report to an official about treatment. So the policy is to kind of like treat each individual differently. Yeah. And people are considered as a sick person, and they must access treatment within the same dignity as people who suffer from like I don't know, like loads of other diseases. Yeah. But because of this, the figures are basically startling. In 1999, Portugal had 369 overdose deaths. That is a lot. And in 2016, there were just 30. Wow. And new HIV cases from infected needles dropped from 907 in 2000 to only 18 in 2017.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And that's crazy, isn't it? That's like a whole different approach. And it just kind of proves that if you support people, they do better than just punishing them.
I feel like people in this country who like you see on the streets, or you know, they've obviously got problems with drugs, you automatically you're kind of conditioned to think they're a bad person, and they're not. And maybe decriminalising things could be the way to go. I'm not saying this is my, you know, strong opinion, because I've only just considered it now, but maybe if you take the taboo away from it and you say, you know, this isn't a secret industry, and you just say, it's like readily available in all. It's not like they're selling heroin in shops, but it takes that big kind of weight off it, and maybe that is the way to rehabilitate people. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe so. We ain't no scientists.
I love that. Well, of course, this is now the end of our show. We hope we brought a cheeky smile to your face today. And if you want to be featured on next week's show, get in touch with us on Facebook, Insta and Twitter at Andy Nelly UK, because next week's theme is...
things that you will never do again.
Yes.
So whether it's like skydiving or jumping off a cliff or things like that, or even just, it can literally be a small thing as well, like not changing a light bulb because every time you do it, it crashes. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Or
It could be anything.
yeah. And next week is our last episode of the series 1.
Whoa.
So get ready for it. It's going to go off in a bang. And
It's going to go off in a bang.
In a bang.
Maybe that's what this episode needs to be called. Going to go off in a bang, not with a bang. In true Andy Jarvis style, it's going to go off in a bang.
I make up these phrases. I think I know what they are, but I clearly don't know what they are. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.
See you.
Bye.